Hi guys, it's Silver Chan, and I recently got into the anime Mermaid Melody Pichi Pitch, and I'm deciding to make a review on 3 episodes that I have watched of it. I actually watched it more when I was making this, so yeah. So kind of not correct, but yeah. I'm just gonna go over 3 of the episodes, so you get into it a bit. And so, I'm gonna reveal some history on, my first, knowing of the series, because I known it since childhood, but was never able to watch it fully. So this was kind of, my first time watching it fully, and, seeing it instead of watching, clips of it online, because it's really easy to find it online, and, yeah, all that stuff. So sit back and relax, and we can enjoy the show. Also, if you hear anything in the background, that's just my dad, watching TV, because I'm down in my basement. Don't ask why. Dad, say hi. Say hi, Dad. Mermaid Melody was a Japanese manga that ran from August 2002 to March 2005 in the Nakiosha magazine. The plot was your typical mermaid princess love story with magical girl-like twist, with transformation and idol singing. Yeah, when I got first into this series of magical girls, I was more thinking that was gonna be a precure in a Monica Magica fighting monsters and such. Not idol singing. The idol singing did catch my eye, but I didn't hate it. The songs were really good, and it just surprised me at the time I really probably would have expected coming from a mermaid theme, and yeah. The story follows the main character Lucia Anonymity going to the surface to find her lost pink pearl that she landed to a boy named Kaito, who she saved from a tsunami when they were both young. Though when she meets him again, they do not remember each other because they changed during when they looked in childhood. And really, if you look at Lucia's human form, and she does not look anything like her mermaid self, even if everybody else around her does. When Lucia gets her pearl back from Kaito, she becomes a magical girl idol. This is considered as the true mermaid princess power. The pearls become a microphone, and the mermaid princess gets a human legs and starts to sing in a light bubble. The love song is able to stop their enemies and stop causing them mischief. I got into Mermaid Melody when I said that I fall in love with magical girl transformations when I was young, and Mermaid Melody was one of them when I was watching the video. I love blue magical girls, and I considered Hannah on the transformation to be my favorite out of all the mermaid magical girls in the show. I did come across it on YouTube, some full episodes, but they were all scattered, and it was hard to find the English dub for it. And a lot of the content was in original Japanese, obviously. But I got to watching to some of the dubs and fan dubs I found of the series, but all I were scattered. They were all scattered over the internet. I could even I could have watched the Japanese one, but with no subtitles, and I couldn't really understand what was going on. But I loved the acting, the animation of the 2003 show. It was a bit like Tokyo Mew Mew to me. Since Tokyo Mew Mew is getting a new anime, honestly, I kind of wish that there could be a remake of Mermaid Melody, so people of this generation can enjoy it. Ones of the 2013 era, even though I was not even born and I was only 1 year when I was born. Yep. I'm a 2004 girl. So now that we got the history out of the bag, let's get on with the real show, and let me talk about the first 3 episodes. I'll try not to spoil anything just to make it more simple so that it makes it more interesting for you to watch it. later on, whatever you are up to right now. Probably not even watching this video, and I'm just sitting here in my lone pit of darkness. Okay, let me go shut up and go in there. The Pearl Tier was the first episode of the anime, and this episode aired on April 5th, 2003 on TV Ashi, 1 year before I was born. As the plot goes for this episode, Lucci goes to the service to find the boy 7 years ago that she lended her pearl to, and when she is going there, it's been a while, and it begins in the North Pacific Ocean Kingdom, where she is the princess, and then comes Hippo, who comes ready with his pearl radar to help, and when they start to leave, the North Pacific mermaids, who question her that she's going out in such a storm, and apparently something happening, Lucia gets annoyed by this, and she tells why she's leaving. But the mermaids worry and tell Hippo that to watch over Lucia and keep her out of trouble. And then, ironically, Hippo tells them that she already left, and there's literally that scene where she's just swimming off into the ocean in the background, just slowly going away, which I find really hilarious. The typical classic anime trope right there. Oh my god, you those scenes where the anime character just you think they're the character starts talking to someone, and the other person just and then they realize that they're gone, and just have that adult figure there just standing there saying, oh wait, they're gone. But anyway, let's not talk about that. We still have to get into this. Go to the surface, yada yada yada, and she becomes a human by using her necklace to transform. And then we get to the anime's opening, and the song being Tayo Warakuen, in English, Paradise of the Sun. The song is pretty and catchy indeed, as all the songs in this anime after the opening we meet the Madame Take and oh my god, I'm gonna butcher everyone's name in this anime. The other character is Madame Taki, who won the hotel called Pearl Prairie, called Pearl Waters in the manga. I have not read the manga, but if I do think about reading it, I think I'll do a review on it. Probably not if you have seen some recent manga reviews on a certain other anime manga. I'll put that up in the description, you probably might find it. So basically Taki starts talking with her fortune telling, because she's the fortune teller of the hotel, and this angers Naraka, who is yelling at Taki's fortune telling, and that she was just looking at a security camera. Lucia is there, she's just sitting there, and it has to work at the hotel, and she messes up a lot. Once it's done, despite not doing good, Naraka says she did a good job and told her to take a break. So she took the break by taking a bath and turning into her mermaid self, and using a bubble maker to make lots and lots of bubbles. I swear, for Tropical Reach Figure, they better make references to Mermaid Melody. Just saying. And then Hippo rushes right into the room, and classic anime girl saying screaming pervert at him. However, Hippo came in to explain that his pearl waiter was detecting her pearl, so she apologizes and tries to sing, but apparently without the pearl, the mermaid's voice is really bad at singing. Yeah, who wouldn't have a voice like that when they want to sing? I can't even sing. He discusses this about the portraits of Rupa, and then she falls asleep in the bathtub. So the next day, Lucia goes to find Kaito with the pearl radar that led them to the beach. Looking around, Lucia sees the boy surfing, and the boy, who is the grown-up Kaito, comes up to her and jokes with her. This makes her annoyed. Kaito explains that there will be a surfing competition happening tomorrow, and then asks to see if Lucia will come and watch him. Lucia is not interested and walks off. Kaito then talks her out his charm, and it's Lucia's pearl. Takes that. And he says to himself that she's different and she's not the Lucia he knew. Again at school, Lucia is looking for a class, meets Kaito again, and turns out both of them are in the same class, so he directs her to there. At the same time, a new character appears to question about Lucia, who is revealed to be Heron Hosho. She becomes friends with Lucia and takes her to go shopping to get new clothes. However, Hippo is pretending to be a stuffed animal and stops Lucia and Heron are to find and says to Lucia that she has to find her pearl. Then Lucia makes an excuse to leave and Hippo follows her quickly. Heron stops and sees Hippo leave with her and she didn't find it odd. Like she probably says, You probably might it's it was suspicious, but she has her own reasons, which we'll get into later. Then tomorrow at the competition, she's searching for a pearl. Heron tags along, and then they get hit on by these two guys, where Kaito comes up and breaks it up. And then the surfing begins. Lucia is amazed by the surfing skills Kaito can do, until a rogue wave comes and knocks him over. In shock, the storm appears and Lucia runs in to save him by transforming into a mermaid. When she finds Kaito, she realizes that he's been captured by a water demon by the name of Izuru. Izuru is trying to take the pink pearl. She attacks Lucia and Lucia screams. This wakes up Kaito, who remembers her and gives her back her pearl. And a bright light forms and Lucia transforms into an idol. She starts singing the song Legend of the Mermaid. This hurts Izuru and she lets go of Kaito and flees. Lucia brings him to the surface and tries to wake him up. She begins crying, thinking that he's dead, and didn't save him in time. However, he does wake up and remembers her as the mermaid that saved him 7 years before the series started. Kaito thanks her for saving him again, and Hippo and Heron are watching from afar. Heron says it's bad that Lucia has fallen in love with Kaito, who is a human male. Hippo realizes there are 2 pearls that are being detected on his radar, and Heron reveals her pearl. This turns out that Heron is actually a mermaid princess of the South Atlantic Ocean, as she has the aqua pearl. And so the episode ends, and now the thought of the first watch of episode 1, it was pretty basic for the first episode that you probably would expect. You meet the first characters, you introduce them. The animation was great and all for back in 2003. Why do I keep on saying 2013? Oh jeez. And so we know that the episode 1 pearl tier, and now we're going to look at episode 2, which basically what I seen from the clip of it looks like explains more about Hana worrying about Lucia falling in love with Kaito and more on Heron. So basically a Heron episode. Episode 2, Feelings I Can't Say, aired on TV on April 12th of 2003. Part of this episode goes to Hana, and as she disapproves of Lucia's new relationship with Kaito. But later then at the Spring Festival, she too finds love, and Heron's mermaid form is revealed in this part. The episode truly begins with Nekora warning Lucia and Hippo about the dangers happening in the sea lately, and Lucia, along with Heron, and have to call the rest of the mermaid princesses to call on Aqua Regina, the sea goddess, to help them. This calling all the mermaid princesses and gathering them together. The next day, Lucia is walking to school and Kaito comes up to her and thanks her for calling the rescue squad, as he notices her pearl necklace and remembers about the mysterious mermaid girl who had the same necklace as hers. Of course, Kaito doesn't know that it's actually her. So then Kaito invites Lucia to go to the Spring Festival with him, and she agrees to go. Heron sees this and asks Lucia about what she was talking to Kaito about. Lucia happily says that she's going on a date with Kaito. Heron becomes surprised and hurries Lucia to the school roof and talks to her privately and starts complaining and warning to Lucia if she and Kaito were to find out that she was a mermaid, confessing to him about her love, according to a mermaid legend, a mermaid who does that will become Bubbles. I can tell like a little bit of trope is like referring to the original story of the Little Mermaid, as she refuses to kill the prince and turns into sea foam. The girls continue arguing until the bell rings and they have to go back to class. The next scene of the episode shows the villain's lair as Izuru is talking to Gaito, the main villain of the series. She apologizes for letting Lucia escape, and Gaito is annoyed and asks someone else should do the job instead of Izuru. Ariu soon appears and she takes on the job. Izuru tells her that she's not able to capture any of the mermaids. Ariu swaps faces into her evil side, which I find really unique about this character, and tells that she will capture the pink mermaid princess. Gato lets her go, and Iru snaps back and with a happy face. Izuru tries to beg to Gaito to let her give him a second chance, but he doesn't let her have it. At the hotel, Lucia in her mermaid form is singing in the bath. She doesn't stop singing until she gets out and changes into mirror. Hippo agrees that what Flaren said to Lucia is true, and that going out with Kaito was a bad idea. Lucia disagrees and reassures Hippo that everything will be fine and okay. Lucia then kicks Hippo out since she should be like with Heron and stuff like that. Taki then comes by and finds Hippo worrying about Lucia, so Taki does the best thing to tell his fortune by ripping off Hippo's hair and tells him that the fortune to be Lucia's. She rips another piece and she feels the disaster at the sea. Hippo does not panic as he knows that Taki's predictions are usually wrong, but just for a production, he takes Heron to the Spring Festival with him and the prediction to watch over Lucia. Iryu is also at the Spring Festival to find the mermaid princesses. Lucia waits for Kaito, and when he does arrive, he comes accompanied by two girls who won't leave him alone. Lucia gets angry by this and walks off. Kaito is able to catch up to her and takes her where he met the mysterious mermaid, not knowing it's Lucia again. With Heron, she falls in love with a guy who gives her fishes Idaru was selling, and she was forced to take it. She parted ways with the man, and Heron goes to the beach and releases the fish into the ocean. And then she decides to become a mermaid and daydreams about the guy she just met. Back with Lucia and Kaito explains about the girl who was mermaid Lucia. Lucia tries to sing but panics and then goes back to Heron. The fish follows Heron and Iru finds Heron. Iru grabs her and Lucia hears her screaming from the shore. Iru ties up Heron by using some seaweed with her magic, and Heron fools Lucia into thinking that Heron was her friend. When Lucia transforms and starts to sing, this doesn't work on Heron as she uses her bandana to cover her ears. When Lucia stops singing, Heron attacks her, and while she's attacking, Heron is able to grab a hold of Iru's bandana and pulls it off. As the seaweed is gone, Heron's able to free herself and transform using the aqua pearl. She becomes an idol too with Lucia and they sing together. This causes Iru to soon flee, just like Izuru, when Lucia and Heron talk about Lucia's date went. Lucia finds out that Heron might be in love too. This is finding the scene now. Lucia has a mermaid sings on a rock to Kaito as Kaito rushes into the water to catch her, but she jumps into the water near him and comes near him and kisses him and jumps away into the water. Lucia's voice is heard telling Kaito that he must search for her, as the Kaito is left speechless standing in the sea. The episode ends there. Episode 2, my thoughts on it insists on like showing a little reference to like the original Little Mermaid. And so like it's in episode 3 we're finally going to be revealed to the Green Mermaid. Swaying Dots episode 3 aired on TV on April 19th, 2003. This is another episode of Lucia, and it's the first appearance of the Green Mermaid Princess, Renatone, who is pronounced as Lena, so I'm gonna go by that when we talk about her. The episode begins with Lucia cleaning the outside of the hotel as a moving truck comes up by, and it's revealed that Heron's inside, and it turns out that Heron is moving into the hotel. Taki and Nerika talk to Lucia and about Heron's company here. Taki is fortune-telling with some of the restaurant straws, which makes a big mess as she picks the color of the straws to be green when she throws the straws in the air. And Nerika gets mad and annoyed because now she has to pick up the mess. Heron then warns Lucia about the possibility of her turning into bubbles. Later on, Hippo is shown to be standing next to Heron's luggage. He sees a package covered in a bowl and asks Heron what it was. Heron then unties it to reveal a bowl that had animal inside. I think it was a jellyfish. It looked like one. It's revealed as the pet Heron has called Parakin, also known as Pura-chan in the anime, Japanese dub. Lucia gushes and says how the animal is cute. Lucia and Heron are seen walking to school together in the next scene. As Heron thanks Lucia for helping her with the move, a stranger then starts to talk to them, and Heron notices that it was the same guy she had bumped into at the spring festival. When Lucia is curious, as Heron and the stranger start to talk to each other, they both found out that it's actually their school music teacher, Taro Mitsuki. They soon get a new transfer student by the name of Lena Towen. Lena makes a serious look at Kaito and also wears a male school uniform instead of the females. Lucia and Heron find her to be suspicious. When they make friends with her, Lena just ignores them. Heron does not like her at all as how Lena is treating them, and Lucia thinks maybe Lena is just shy. At the hotel, Taki and Naga are looking at a TV. It's revealed a singer by the name of Jennifer Houston has just arrived in Japan. They notice that her necklace has a green pearl-like gem, and they believe Jennifer might be the Green Mermaid Princess, or just the green pearl is on her neck. Because it was said that the green pearl was given to the surface long ago, and the reasons are unknown because I can't remember it. And I'm pretty sure it was not mentioned in the episode. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments. Lucia is making rings with Heron for Lena and Heron, then both of them. Heron asked her why she made one for Lena, when Lena would just ignore them. Lucia says it will be fine, as she believes Lena was just shy, and that's why she just ignored them. The next day, Lucia goes up to the roof to find Lena with Kaito together, and then she makes the mistake of them kissing each other. Heartbroken, Lucia runs off. In reality, Lena was just threatening Kaito and threatening him like he was the enemy, believing him to be someone he is not. And Kaito refuses to believe what Lena said about him being a different person, a villain of some sort. Lucia goes back to the hotel to see someone else dressed like undercover style and thinks that they are a thief or something, and then attacks them. This person turns out to be a guest at the hotel, and Lucia quickly apologizes for her actions on the poor woman. The woman is given a room on the second floor, and Lucia is still thinking about Lena and kissing Kaito, saying the song, which was one of her favorite songs from the singer Jennifer Houston. This got into an altercation with the guest who was in the room above Lucia's room. The guest went downstairs to tell Lucia to turn off her music, and that is when she did not like the music. This became an argument, and the guest is revealed to be none other than the famous singer Jennifer Houston herself. Lucia was surprised by this and asked Jennifer why she hated her own song. So Jennifer explains that the producer guy named Richard, who she has a love interest for him, she saw her with another girl. She becomes jealous over this, but Lucia says it must be a misunderstanding, that she had to go talk to Witcher about it. She didn't have the courage to, though. But Lucia wouldn't take no for an answer, and with the help of Heron, they took Jennifer to see Richard. Then Richard again explains that the girl he was with was just a fan of Jennifer, and that is why he was with the girl. Jennifer, about to confess her love to him, is then attacked by Izuru and Izuru, who teamed up together to steal the Green Mermaid Princess Pearl, who they believe Jennifer has on her necklace. Lucia and Heron saw this and went into action to stop them, as Witcher and Jennifer got knocked out. They sang the Legend of the Mermaid together and were scared, and then scared away Izuru and Iru, and then they get Jennifer's necklace back, which truly was not the Green Pearl. It then ends with Hera and Lucia still in their mermaid forms, watching Richard and Jennifer happily, and they were able to forgive each other for their own misunderstandings. Unknown to them, Lena was actually watching the two. So the episode for this explained about misunderstanding love for a boy and one get. That episode 2 then explains more about Lena. And so basically let's just go back a bit, so Lucia saws the classic trope of mistaking for someone and falling in love for someone, and basically helps Jennifer with her own problems of misunderstanding Richard. So I'm saying here, okay, so she does that for someone, and but she knows that she's going through the same thing. Well, I'm pretty sure it was obvious, and I know that the episode did explain this too, with Heron and Hippo explaining it too. But in other ways, that is all that I can think about episode 3. So now we finally get to the ending of Mermaid Melody so far. It's a very mellow series. I just started watching it again, and I recommend watching the series. I am watching this series on Kiss Anime, so I'll put a link down in the description so you can check it out too. Anyways, this is Silver Chan signing out.